What's up, fam? My beautiful goddess athletes. I love calling you guys that because you're beautiful goddesses. And we're all here we're all here to learn how to be the best freaking athletes we can possibly be in whatever it is that we're doing, right? So I'm so excited to chat with you guys today. We are talking tracking calories and we're talking tracking macros. The difference between the two, why you would do one over the other, and which one's gonna help you reach your goals the most. Now, I posted up a true or false question earlier this week. It was a bit of a trick question. And the question was something along the lines of weight loss is as easy as calories in versus calories out, or just eat less and do more, or tracking calories, or just making sure that you're eating less food, right? In general, calories. Now, the answer to that question is actually true. Weight loss can be pretty easy. You just eat less and do more, and typically you'll see the scale go down. It is just calories in versus calories out. Now, there's a difference between weight loss and fat loss, okay? And if you've followed me for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about this before, okay? And creating a specific physique and looking a certain way, right? And having a goal for ourselves in the way that we want to look, that's not going to be accomplished by just tracking calories, okay? You can lose weight by tracking calories. Yes, you can. I will never debate that, okay? But again, weight loss is not the same as fat loss, okay? And by just losing weight and just tracking calories, you don't have control over how your physique looks. You don't have control over what you look like at the end of that process. I always say that specific goals, such as a specific physique or a specific type of health or a specific type of performance or a specific type of body or a specific type of feeling, if you have a specific goal for yourself, that is going to require specific macros, okay? That's the only way to control the outcome. Now, why is that? Well, because a specific physique and a specific look requires muscle tone, right? We all want to get tone up, right? Build muscle, get some of those sexy curves going, right? Now that requires creating something. We have to build a body, all right? We can't just shrink into that. Now, if you've ever heard the term skinny fat, this is where that comes from. People just tracking calories and eating less and doing more. I always say that I used to look like a melted candle. Before I started tracking macros, I used to look like a melted candle, and I would lose weight, the scale would go down, the number on the scale would go down, but I would look the exact same, just a smaller version. My physique, my composition would not change at all whatsoever, right? Because I wasn't tracking macros. Now, why do macros have such an effect on our physique? Well, because in order to build a body, our body has to be going through certain processes, right? And those are triggered and accomplished by specific macros, such as, let's talk protein. The only way to build muscle is to consume enough protein that you stimulate muscle protein synthesis in your body. You stimulate that tissue growing. Without that amount of protein, it won't happen. So what are we doing in the gym to make that happen? So we're tearing down our muscle tissue in the gym, and it's our food that puts that muscle tissue back together and then grows it, right? So if you're just eating less and less and less and cutting out whatever, anything and everything that you can cut out in your day-to-day and still going to the gym, if you're lifting weights, you're going to be tearing that muscle tissue down, but you're not going to be eating the correct amount of macros and food that's going to repair it. You're certainly not going to be building it. So if you're not repairing that tissue, guess what happens? It just slowly goes away. You are degrading your muscle tissue that you do have. You're not protecting it, okay? And that's how you get that melted candle. That's my melted candle sound. Melted candle look. The one that I struggled with for so freaking long, right? So if you're wanting to tone up or firm up, that requires muscle. And the only way to stimulate that is through a specific amount of food and a specific amount of protein. Now, what else? Let's talk about carbohydrates. Carbs are required for energy. And guess what else they do? They help your protein go even further than it would not in the presence of carbohydrates. So they actually, it's almost like beefing up your protein a little bit, giving it that little extra zhuzh. Protein's still going to stimulate muscle protein synthesis and growth of tissue, but in the presence of carbohydrates, it's going to go even further, okay? It's going to be your primary source of energy, which means you can actually push harder in the gym to stimulate more breakdown and then more growth, right? You're going to be able to lift heavier. And what do we need in order to build muscle is progressive overload. But if we don't have the energy to accomplish progressive overload week after week after week or training block after training block, then we're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to hit that plateau, right? Carbohydrates are also unbelievably important for hormone health and thyroid health as a female. And without thyroids and without hormones, fat loss does not take place. Okay, so again, you've got to have that in place. And then fat is also a hormone. I call it the hormone macro. So it's safeguarding your hormones. It's creating an environment for your hormones to feel safe and to operate well and get balanced and just be healthy, right? So each macro has its own job, its own purpose, okay? And without getting enough of each of them, you're not going to accomplish any of the jobs that they are here to do, right? Protein is our bodybuilding macro. I call it our physique macro. So that's not going to happen. Our carbs are our energy, so that's not going to be there. And our fat is our hormone health, and that's not going to be there, right? So can you lose weight tracking calories and just eating less in general across the board? Sure. Absolutely you can. But you're not going to be able to control your physique, change your body composition, or be able to control the results at the end of that diet. The same way you would be able to if you were tracking your macros. You'd be able to build your body, right? And whether it's physique change, health, or some type of improved performance, specific goals require specific macros. Fight me on this. Fight me on this. So while calories are king when it comes to weight loss, sure, we want to make sure that that weight loss is the right type of weight loss, right? And the only way to do that is to track your macros and get the right amounts of proteins, carbs, and fat. Because the last thing we want to do is be losing our muscle tissue, right? Muscle is very important because muscle burns fat. It burns calories. It is very metabolically active, and the more muscle tissue you have on your body, the leaner you're going to be just naturally. Just a leaner human for the rest of your life. Your body's going to be burning calories at rest. You're going to be burning more calories at rest and burning more calories in your workout. You should be burning calories while you're sitting around doing nothing because you have more muscle tissue on your body. So as you start to lose that muscle tissue, especially as we age, your metabolism starts to slow down and down and down. And that's why preserving our muscle tissue and growing more is so unbelievably important to optimizing your metabolism and keeping it strong, healthy, and fast. in order to achieve that fat loss result that you're looking for, right? We want to lose fat, not weight. Fat and preserve as much muscle and grow as much muscle as we can. Da-la-la-la. So that is that. That is the answer to that question. It was a little bit of a trick question. Sorry, you guys. Sorry, you guys. Because again, you can lose weight just by slashing calories, sure. But we want to lose a specific type of weight. Fat and nothing else. We want to preserve our muscle tissue, right? We certainly don't want to see any loss of bone density. We just want to primarily focus on fat loss, okay? And the way to do that is with macros. So in my book, macros are king. If you guys have any other questions on this topic, drop them down below or shoot me a DM. I'm always here to help. I'm always here to chat about food, fat loss, weightlifting, pizza, all the things. Love you guys. We'll talk soon.